Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome, everybody. I am Barb Bird. I'm your deputy supervisor. I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. And I need to talk louder. Okay, well, you let me know if I slack, okay? All right. Okay, Madam Clerk, can we have roll call?
We sure can. Trustee Campbell.
Present.
Trustee Clee.
Present.
Clerk Triplett, present. Supervisor Miller is absent. Treasurer Anderson.
Present.
Trustee Fabdall.
Present.
And Trustee Burt.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on the, let's see, additions or deletions for tonight's meeting?
Yes, I do have an addition that I'd like to place on the agenda. This is an item that had been on the two previous special meeting agendas. It's for the hiring 2 inspectors for rental inspection program.
Okay, anything else? Take that one.
Do we need to vote? Or motion or second or?
I'd like to make a motion that we include the hire two inspectors for rental inspection program for the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, Manya, roll call vote.
Okay, Trustee Fabdall.
Yes.
Trustee Burt.
No?
Trustee Campbell.
Yes.
Trustee Clee.
No.
Clerk Triplett, yes. And Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be action item J. Okay, we need an approval of the minutes from the meeting on August 15th.
Madam Co-Supervisor, I'm going to step away and abstain as I was not, I've read them, I was video on it, but I'm not going to vote on that.
Okay.
Approval of the minutes?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay.
With one exception.
Okay, we have public comment. You have 12 minutes. No, just joking. I know. You have 4 minutes to come up to the podium and talk, and can somebody time that? Does anybody want to?
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah. So anybody, you can come up to the podium.
William Newsom. I just want to comment how I'm a little disappointed in voting on putting the name thing on the ballot. I'm not passionate either way, but I see the arguments from business and stuff that it might be worth investigating. And it wasn't going to cost anything to put it on the ballot, and you didn't even have to act on anything that was done on the ballot as far as money. And I see there was a special meeting last week. I could not find any minutes on that, so if I might be off here. I apologize if I am. But you were gonna, somebody wanted to hire a fire marshal at $100,000 a year for 2 years. 2 rental code enforcers at $25 an hour, I'm thinking plus benefits, and a building administrator. To me, all those were said they were gonna pay for out of fees. There's no budget item to do that. You were saying, well, we'll get the fees and we'll pay. I find that a really strange bookkeeping idea, because what if you don't collect the fees? There's no guarantee you're gonna get a fee. I don't know if you pass those or not, but my point in saying that is you gave the reason for not doing the vote on the ballot for the name change was the money. And then you turn around and do $300,000 worth of hiring of people that's all based on, well, the VIBA money to start with, but then it's all fee-based. And I just can't wrap my mind around fee-based position that's not budgeted in anybody's budget. And I might be wrong on that, I'm not an accountant. Also, just for your knowledge, like 2021, Flint had 67 murders, and so far in 2022, they've had 25 murders. Literally, while we were being told a couple meetings ago about how great the city of Flint was and all the money that was in there, literally at about 6:30, while the speaker was speaking, there was an attempted abduction of a 10-year-old girl in a city park. My point is, it's not about the water, that people don't want to come to Flint or that we maybe can break that tie. It's a high known crime area, and it has one of the worst city councils probably in the United States that will not get nothing done as long as it's full of egotists and racists. And I just not buying that you didn't do the name change because of the funding. If you're going to turn around and hire people on fee based, hopefully we'll collect the money to pay them. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Newsom.
This one, I don't know who, Karen Miller asked me to come speak,
Oh, right, okay.
so, I think, does everybody have a copy? There's copies of it.
You guys all get one?
Yep.
Do you have an extra for, come over here, thanks. Get you more if you want them. My name is John Simpson, and I'm resident of Wheatway Avenue, and we moved here in 2012, and retired with pennies. I don't get an opportunity to wear a suit off, and they're gonna bury me in this one, so I just wanna make sure it still fit. I dug it out after about 10 years. Anyways, we moved here in 2012 from New Hampshire. That was the last place that I worked. And we moved here, my daughters live in Michigan, and so we decided this was where we were gonna settle down. And it was a nice, wholesome community, and we looked at the area for about 3 years before we retired, and everybody seemed to take pride in their property. And then we were excited because we live in Amber Acres, and it's north of Elms, and it's north of Maple, and it's between Elms and Dye Road. And there were about 20 lots over there, and Edwin Allens came in and took them over. I think they were bank-owned, and we were excited about that. And they built about 20 homes, and we thought they were going to be sold as new properties. And as it turned out, they sold some, and they rented 10 of them. The situation is with those homes, there's problems with all kinds of code violations with grass. There's stuff in the yard. There's weeds that are literally growing up. The lawns have not been planted. There's still silt fences in front of the places. And I've given you all a list of the information. The trouble is trying to track down anybody at Edwin Allen Homes. Their corporate office is in Portage, Michigan on Center Avenue, and I've got East Center Street. They also have an LLC that's called Copper Bay. So when you call Edwin Allen Homes, they can't really help you with the rental property issues. And most of the severe issues a week ago when I first came here were with the rental properties. Now it seems like some of that's been fixed. I've got the information there. I contacted a number of people there. There's all kinds of phone numbers and email listings that you can get a hold of them. I talked to a Kenton Mann was his name, and he's in charge of the maintenance of the property, and he took care of most of the mowing of the rental properties. But the issue is that a lot of the original homes and some of the newer homes that are owned, everybody just sort of fell off the wagon, and they're not taking care of the property at all over there. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak. The deal is, someone has gotten through to a few people, and Kenton took care of a lot of issues over there. So there's been great improvements since last time when I was here on August the 29th. He actually responded. Currently, and this is of today, there's 20 units, 20 houses in that area on Mays, Wheatway, and on Soya that have various issues. And I've gone through and listed all of them, and I'm no expert on the codes other than, some of it's just common sense stuff. The other issue is that, I wondered if first of all, if we talked about this last time, is it zoned for multiple unit dwellings for rental properties, because the situation is, those homes that rent over there rent for $2,400, and unless you're really well off, $2,400 is a big amount every month. So what's happened is, people have rented them, and then they're subletting them to anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 other families. So there's multiple families living in them, 6 cars in the driveway and in the streets. There's trailers, utility trailers parked all over the place. So that's the question. And then I asked, well, where's code enforcement? And then I understand that we're having some issues with code enforcement hiring folks, and I understand that. But the other issue besides code enforcement is also somebody to monitor the rental
Mr. Simpson,
properties.
they can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other issue is somebody that can monitor the rental properties over there as well. And I understand that we used to have someone for a short time that monitored rental properties, and not only to make sure that the properties are kept up, but also that the homes are safe for those folks that are renting them. And chasing down Copper Bay is near impossible, I can tell you that, because I've tried for a week to get a hold of somebody. So, I think that there's a need for a rental management company. I think that there's a need that we really address the issue of code enforcement, because it's sort of like everybody's really just letting things go. So, that's my number.
It is, yes.
So I hope that helps. There's a lot of information in here that might help code enforcement with that, and try to make it easier for them, because I know hours are short, so.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Anybody else?
My name is Gerald Roberts. Live at 4487 Lindywood Drive, Swartz Creek, Michigan. Tonight I'm here to talk about fiscal responsibility with regard to the township. I've lived in the Flint Township since 1971, which figures out to a little over 50 years. I don't know how many of you people here were present when they gave the audit of Flint Township. Now, my past history is in financial. I worked for General Motors for 35 years. Worked in the payables department, forward planning department, accounts receivable department, the audit department. I was a traveling auditor for over 10 years on the road, doing audits all over the United States. The audit that came in here, and I don't know if it blew over you guys' heads or not, was so sugar-coated, you wouldn't want to know. If you didn't understand it, they were soft-soaping you. Over a period of time, there's been so many people, and through the unions, that have got lucrative contracts, and the retirements are out there. Even with this past millage, with regard to what was supposed to be police and fire protection, but they named it a little bit different time this last time. The previous time for 10 years when that went in, Karen gave everybody a raise right directly after that. I understand that there's been a letter from the state of Michigan stating that you guys have to look at your particular spending here with regard to reining it in. The state says that you're supposed to have in reserve over 2 months' supply of money to be fiscally responsible. Right now, according to that audit, you guys have 1 month's supply, which is right around $1 million. Now, over the period of time, I've watched you guys make all kinds of studies and pay people, in other words, to come in and make a study on this and a study on that. In my estimation, that's just water out the window, money out the window. You got to start thinking about things. And the programs that you bring in for your computers and then having lucrative contracts to service those, you got to look at those too. and the lucrative contracts that you have, in other words, with all your people and your unions, you're going to have to start putting your foot in the door and saying, hey, we can't afford this anymore. We're going to have to start cutting back. And instead of giving everybody raises, start thinking about the financial responsibility that you have for all these people that have retired and their retirements. You guys are in trouble. If you don't know it or not, you are in trouble. Even with this last increase, with regard to that, you got to start thinking up here like I think at home. How am I going to pay all these bills? How am I going to make it? I'm on a fixed income. You guys got to start thinking about fiscal responsibility with regard to outlaying money. $1.3 million for a ladder truck when you haven't had a ladder truck in I don't know how many years. And I watched a couple fires around here. The neighboring townships have got ladder trucks. They can bring their ladder trucks in. We don't have to expend $1.3 million for, a freaking ladder truck that cost over $1 million when we're only $1 million now out of being fiscally responsible. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. It's beyond my financial capabilities of thinking why you guys did that. I'm sorry. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Anybody else?
Good evening, Township Board. I'm John Whiteside, and you know I usually don't come at public comments. But there's something that's bugging me that I need to speak about, and that was with the action the board took on August 15th. I know Mr. Newsom talked about it, so I'd like to speak a little bit on that, because it's concerning the question you guys dealt with to put the name change on the November ballot. For me personally, I don't care either way whether we move forward or don't move forward with it. I was on the committee that investigated the name change. We did our research. We had the post office and we had lots of experts in here and explain the good things and the bad things about moving forward with that. I know many residents and businesses who supported a name change. I also know others who did not. I also understand there was costs associated with a change, and I believe that was covered, but that's only if the change went forward. I really didn't care about the name that was chosen through the survey that was put online, but how I would have voted on it on a November ballot is my own personal decision. Now at that meeting on the 15th, Supervisor Miller and Trustee Barb Vert voted in favor of that motion to put it on the ballot. I commend them for voting that way, because I'm deeply disappointed in the two trustees, the clerk and the treasurer, and Trustee Cleese wasn't here, so he's not part of that, who voted against that measure. I watched it online. I was not able to attend the meeting, so I watched the video. You might want to ask why. Well, we live in a country where people are supposed to have a say and a vote and not be forced into decision by a few elected representatives. For any name change to happen, it was going to have to go for a vote of the residents. Especially true with such an important issue as the name change. This should have been placed on the ballot for our residents to have a say yes or no, not just four board members making that decision for our township residents. Supervisor Miller even had said if the vote was close, the township board could elect to move forward or not move forward, depending on how close it was. But the action taken on the 15th, the board doesn't even know what the residents want. Only a vote would have shown that. There was a few people at that meeting who voiced their opinions. There was a few residents maybe voicing their opinions through the survey. But I know residents that I talked with didn't even know about the online survey. I feel this board did a disservice to the township and its residents by silencing the voters before they had a chance to be heard, by voting down the agenda item to place it on the ballot. Shame on these board members who voted not to place this important issue on the ballot. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. Is there anybody else?
Dave Huffman, 2483 Warner Road. I've come to the board tonight we have a real problem with a land bank home over by my neighborhood on Flushing Road, and I want to put it on record for the board tonight. The address is 5105 Flushing Road. I understand somebody did come into the township in May, said they were going to renovate that property and do something to make it nice. It's completely falling down. There's a wire hanging over a gentleman. I just talked to him tonight on my way over to the meeting. The wires are actually hanging over from his house next to 5105, right over to this piece of property. And I mean, we have a professional dentist's office over there. We have the Metals over there, which is the driving range over there. And it is just, it is an eyesore, and it's a dangerous eyesore. So I just wanted to bring that attention. I know the land bank, you know, Genesee County is responsible for that, but I've called the county, and that was like pulling teeth. I haven't heard anything. They probably have thousands of cases. But if we can get some help here in the township, and I mentioned this to Karen, the supervisor, and she said, hey, come up, put it on public record. We're going to we're going to get on this. It's a real safety hazard. It's a real nuisance. My only other comments I have tonight, I have to agree with Mr. Whiteside about the vote that on the name change in the township. Obviously, there was a lot of work by a lot of business people and a lot of constituents of this township that thought it would be imperative maybe for this for the township, business-wise and overall public relation-wise, to consider a name change. I'm like Mr. Whiteside. I didn't really care if they did or they didn't, but when you have your constituents and your business people who pay the taxes, who are running this township, and you do not at least listen to their sentiments, they are the people of this township, to put that on the ballot for people to make their own decisions on that, and you squash it right off, that is a lack of transparency, and that is not right. Then, listening to Mr. Roberts' comments about the fiscal responsibility that this township is under right now, I was at that meeting when I heard the auditors come up here and sugarcoat our fiscal state of the union, so-called, in this township, and I was appalled. I sat next to a former Flint Township supervisor out in the audience, and when he heard that this township that operates on a budget of $13 to $14 million a year, that you had a 2-month surplus, he turned around to me and says, Dave, they are almost bankrupt. What is going on? Clayton Township has a budget down here of about $200,000 a year. You know what their surplus is? 2.5 years. Now, I want to tell you, we are, just like Mr. Roberts says, this township is on a real precarious deal of fiscal going right down the tubes like the Titanic right now, and you better start getting smart, and you better start addressing this, or we're going to face some real problems in the future. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? No? Mr. Leverett.
We got one more. Gene Leverett, Flint Township, 5210 Scenic View Drive. You know, I hear everybody talking. I think, first of all, I'm glad to be here, and I thank God for you all, okay? I think you all are doing a great job. And the reason I say that is because you all didn't have to vote your conscience. You had to vote what the facts said vote, okay? So I agree with it. And I think that as much work as we put together, or was put together for changing the name, we already had paid out $6,000, okay? And God knows how much more. But what I'm looking at, I think we all need to put our heads together and put a committee together and try to come up with some solutions rather than talking about changing the name. We need to be working on the issues that's going on in Flint Township. We're talking about the budget. Hey, let's get a committee together and let's work on it and get those facts and make those facts work for us. That's all we need to do. But running around here talking about changing the name, we ain't worried about changing the name. And if you didn't get the vote on it, maybe in a couple of years, it might happen again. I don't know. They worked pretty hard on it, but I think we need to be doing something else, working on the other problems that we have in Flint Township. And we worry about being disconnected from Flint to Flint. Flint is right here. All we got to do is be neighborly and do the things that we need to do and come together. We're supposed to be a coming together people, not for division. Be blessed.
Thank you, Mr. Leverett.
Hello, Mark Showalter. I live in Dyewood Estates. My question is, you know, we just went through all the testimony and all the stuff that went on in Texas at the school shooting. My question is how prepared are the schools in Flint Township? You have a high school, a junior high, and I believe 4 elementary schools. Are the schools ready for it? Is the police department ready for it? The thing that I kept hearing is how it was mishandled by the police department. Our police department is top notch here. The top dog knows exactly what to do, but does the number 2, 3, and 4 person know what to do in a situation like that? At the school level, are the teachers trained to handle that? Are the doors locked during the day? Are there checks being made at the school to make sure that there is no access for a bad person to get inside the school? The one thing I kept hearing is that there was a door open and that there should be fencing around the school. I do a lot of stuff at the high school and at the junior high. There's no fencing. I don't know if that's something that can be looked at. You know, I know that it should be brought up to the school board. I'm sure it's been brought up to the school board, but if something bad and evil was to happen, it all come upon this board at what did you do and what did you not do, you know? So I just hope that we can keep our students and teachers safe and that something like this does never happen to a school anywhere, but especially where I live in Flint Township. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Showalter. Appreciate that.
Anybody else? Okay, we will move on then to reports. I do not have a report tonight. Madam Treasurer, do you?
No.
Madam Clerk?
Just like to say we're gearing up for our election for November. We'll be starting training, looking for some election inspectors. We'll have training going for that as well. We did get 100% on our election this year. I'm very proud of that with the great staff that I had working with me. And I also like to talk about our great fire department as well as our police department. I had an incident this weekend where I had a bat in my house. And
Should have called me.
Normally my husband takes care of that, but he was unavailable. I didn't know what to do. So I called our fire department, and they came and got the bat with no problem. It was so embarrassing, but I want to say thank you. It's simple things like that in our community that you appreciate, you know, and that I don't know what happens in other communities, but I didn't even know I could pick up the phone. He's like, I got a bat, I didn't know who else to call. And so Chief Beckley, I want to say thank you to your department. Of course, you know, Chief Salter, your department is also great as well because you helped me out during the election. But I just like to say thanks for the great work that you guys are doing. And we do live in a great community, which is Flint Township, and I'm glad to be a part of it. That's all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any trustee reports?
No.
I'll go last, but you go ahead.
I would just like to say that Flint Township is going to have a trunk or treat this year. It will be October the 30th from 3 to 6 p.m. at Shea Automotive, and we will be looking for volunteers. So if anybody's interested, please let us know.
Tom?
Thank you. I was just, hey, trying to be the gentleman that
I
I try
had to
be.
finish my note real
I know,
quick.
I was watching your pen. Normally, I wouldn't address this and step out of my shoes of this board, but I'm sorry, I'm going to. And those two gentlemen right there, as were mentioned by Mr. Showalter, Mark, thank you for what you asked and thank you for what you said. Ironically, this evening, I'm not the only teacher sitting in this room tonight of Carmen Ainsworth. If you looked at the agenda, the CA Homecoming Parade is here this evening. You have two student council students, and you have Mr. Mike Stewart, who is the co-director of the student council. Mr. Showalter, I'll stop referring to you as Mark. Mr. Showalter asked the question, are there locks? Are the doors secured? Is the staff ready? Are the students ready? I have to say, if it happened at the high school, ladies, if you would, and I'll give you the floor to speak for a minute. You're going to get to talk later. But I'll let you answer the question. Do we practice? Do we drill? Yeah. Michael, do we drill? Yes.
Good job.
Our locks, we were just in every building, there's just a few left in the district to be done, Mark. But we have a brand new, one button, locks, dead slams that door. Don't even think you can get in it. You can't. They've got a passcode key that accesses all the locks. One button. All the kids have been shown, push this red button, and this frickin' deadbolt goes, yes, sir.
Metal detectors, are there metal
Those are, Mark, we have auxiliary ones. They're not in every room, every entryway. However, there's only one entryway that you can come in after 7:20. There's one entrances for the kids coming in the back with the buses. There's one entrance at the front, and it's monitored by staff members all the time, constant. Every door in the building is locked. We get yelled at, Michael and I get yelled at, if we go out to go to our car or run over, hey, come, no, you're supposed to go out and walk all the way around the front of the building and come back in. The kids get in trouble if they sneak out and go to Burger King or go somewhere when they're not supposed to and come back and bring in food and open the door for somebody. Marcus, God forbid it ever happened, but we practice, we talk about it. That young man right there in the middle between those two brings his crew in every year, multiple times. We had a great opening day, second day, with talking about Alice training and how to be prepared. And the practice, and the practice, and the practice. We have an officer in our building, great kid. Mark, I appreciate you, and you and I hadn't even had this conversation, but I appreciate you speaking up.
I did call you on how many schools there were in the district.
I had no clue what that one was about. Yeah, you did ask me that one. But your kids are products of the district.
Yes.
You're a product of this side of the district. I'm a product of that side of the district. And we've been friends for a long time, and I appreciate your support. And I appreciate what those two do to make sure that our building is secure. I don't want to, you can talk about what you did over the summer. You guys walked in all the buildings, checked them for fire code and safety and that. And there's a whole bunch of fire gentlemen and a lady back there yet? Nope, didn't see one, that I am so proud of. And,
It's good to hear that. It really is, as a residents and all the other residents, it's good to hear that our schools are being monitored.
I know, I am. I heard you say we're off track, but we're not. I'm still I'm not supposed to have a dialogue, guys. I apologize. That was way out of line. I refer to the deputy supervisor for being out of line. I'm going to bring it back. Yes, the buildings are secure. I go in every morning, and I'm there a lot of times late at night. All three of us are, gentlemen. And so, yeah, if I didn't feel it wasn't safe to go in there. I'm the oldest guy teacher in the building, by the way. Now. So I go in every day. Thank you. I'm done. Gentlemen, thank you. Careful, Chief. He was mumbling about.
You didn't have anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Chief Salter.
Yes. And
You
Trustee
report
Clee,
this
I am now the
evening.
oldest sworn officer at my place.
I
know the feeling.
I was
So-
going to bring that up, but I thought
I know, but
better.
you didn't.
I thought better.
I think we should get a couple rocking chairs.
And I was just gonna comment how we get along with the fire department so well, but I don't know how long that's gonna last after this. Anyways, since the last board meeting, your police department's responded to over 2,000 calls, which is about a 96 per day average. Some different type of calls, 120 domestic calls, 93 disorderlies, 76 unknown trouble calls. Also, we had over 300 traffic stops since our last board meeting, 104 business checks, and 69 residence checks. In addition, there's 2 different shootings that we responded to. One was on the 3000 block of Hogarth, where the victim was shot in the leg after getting in a shootout with the suspect. He was later arrested and her wound was superficial. And the second one happened in one of the apartment complexes, where the suspect fired multiple times through the door, striking the victim 2 times, one in the chest and one in the forearm. The victim is in good condition, but we are still searching for the suspect. On a lighter note, National Night Out was held August 23rd, and it was a success. I want to thank everybody that volunteered to make it a good night, the way it turned out. Like I said, it's always a good event when we get to give or see the smiles on kids' faces when they get that free bicycle, so it's always good. 2 of our new officers started the police academy today. They will be there for approximately until December, and then they will start field training. Mr. Shorter talked about the training we did, and Trustee Klee mentioned, we just did ALICE training for the entire school district, which is every teacher and staff member at Carmen. So this wasn't the high school, it was actually the entire district. And it's something we did probably 3 years ago too, where we did a whole class and we had different scenarios. This is more of an abbreviated topic, it's like 3 hours, maybe 2 hours.
A little over 2, yes.
A little over 2. So Sergeant Nemchek did that, and he's a great instructor because he has fun doing it, and he can make everybody laugh, which is hard to do in front of a lot of people that know how to teach and are used to talking to people all the time. Also about the training that we do, I've been working with the fire chief. We're trying to get something going to where we work together, where before we never really worked together in different scenarios, but different things that we've been to, or different trainings that we've been to, like the Las Vegas shooting. They work in collaboration with each other. They got the police and the fire, which is good. We're starting to work on that a little bit now too, which is a step forward, which is always good. And I have one action item for the agenda.
Thank you.
Chief Beckley?
Thank you. Since the last board meeting, August 15th, we responded to 74 incidents. Some stats from August of 2022. We responded to a total of 110 calls. Of those 110 calls, we had 2 confirmed structure fires, 1 cooking fire, 4 vehicle fires, 10 Tier 1 personal injury accidents, 1 assist to a neighboring fire department, and 19 alarms. On the 24th of August, we responded to the 1300 block of Mitson Avenue for a reported structure fire. When we arrived on scene, it was actually found to be an RV and a vehicle on fire that did catch the garage on fire as well. Luckily, fire crews were able to keep that out of the garage, minimize damage to those 2 vehicles, the RV and the car. So, no injuries there. And training last week, we did what we call our SCBA confidence course. It's where we are in our training facility out here. We have a lot of hazards, entanglements, things like that we really try to challenge our personnel to put them in kind of those bad situations and make sure that everyone has the training to perform as well as they can. So that was last week's training. And this coming weekend, we will be hosting a leadership summit at our Fire Station 1 that is opened up to all county and neighboring county departments. The instructor is actually traveling from California to come to Michigan to teach a class in Saginaw on Saturday, and we're hosting a class here on Sunday. That is being hosted by the Genesee County Fire Chiefs Association, so it's free to all of our personnel, and we're happy to have that right here in our home. And we have 3 action items on the agenda this evening.
I forgot one. You want to talk about that?
I did as well. One more thing I wanted to mention, I think I brought it up at the last board meeting as well, but Sunday, October 2nd, we will be hosting a fire prevention open house. That'll be right here at Fire Station 1 from 1 to 4 p.m. There'll be some more information coming out about that, multiple different ways within the next probably week. So we will love to have everyone down here. We'll have bounce houses. We'll have some demonstrations going on. You'll be able to sign up to get smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors installed in your homes. Be going over fire safety tips for adults and kids. So we look forward to inviting the community in and seeing everybody on that day.
Can I add one more thing to that? One sentence, I promise.
Yeah.
On-call firefighter applications will be available that day as well. Please inform all or anyone that would look at that as an opportunity to get back to the community.
You go, Tom, we'll take your rocking chair.
I will be there.
Okay. All right, Tracy?
I don't have a report this evening. I have several things on the agenda. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have, Madam Treasurer, bills.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of invoices in the amount of $2,136,405.07, and also to acknowledge the distributions in the amount of $4,407,958.54, for a grand total of $6,544,363.61 for invoices and tax disbursements.
Motion would be in order?
That was my, I
Oh, that's right, sorry, okay.
I'll support.
Second? Okay, Lisa and Carol?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, Madam Clerk, when you get a minute.
So trustee Clee,
Yes.
trustee Campbell,
Yes.
trustee Burt,
Yes.
trustee Favdor,
Yes.
treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Thank you.
Okay. There are no correspondence at the time. And so we'll move to action item A, which is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're looking at me like, well, let me know if I mess up, okay, all right. It is the final reading for rezoning ordinance at 5158 Lennon Road. And with this case, there is a letter from a resident, a family who is opposed to this, and they have spoke at the Planning Commission meeting, but this is for the ice cream shop on Lennon Road. Anybody have any questions or anything?
Is this under new ownership?
Yes, it is. This one, yes.
It's that little house.
It's the little house, right, and they want to have, on the drawing here, they want to have a dog run, they want a nature walk, they want a sanctuary, and they want gardens. And, I mean, it's been recommended by the building department to go ahead with this, and there's been talk at the planning commission, right?
Correct.
I have concerns for there being dogs. I mean, there's guidelines you have to have if you're gonna have a dog park or a dog run or whatever. There's no mention of this as far as signage or anything else. And the way they want this, it goes very, very far back. I'm not sure about parking. Those are just my concerns. But it was brought to the board for approval, or well, I mean, to final. So, anybody got any questions, or we just?
I too, Barb, had several questions that,
Tracy has
and,
something, too.
and I had spoken to Tracy,
She has something to add.
yeah, and I had spoken to Tracy about this, about those kind of questions. I guess they're gonna go to the planning commission for approval, such as the hard surface of the walkways, what's the building, fencing, and all those pieces. And Tracy and I had a conversation, but I'll yield to her.
I just wanted to make sure you understand this is only about the zoning.
Right.
Correct.
If that zoning is changed, it could be any C2 use.
Correct.
So all those other issues would be dealt with at the planning commission. So it's more about the zoning rather than the use.
And that
so,
right.
just so you understand. I know
Okay.
you've dealt with it before, Barb, and I know Carol has,
I know,
but
there's
I
been
didn't
a
know if
lot of
everybody else
discussion.
understood that.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, so all those in favor?
There was a motion, wasn't
Motion?
Was there
We
one?
don't have to vote on this, am I correct?
Yes, this final reading, so
We
yes,
do?
it doesn't need to be
Okay,
voted
I
on.
apologize.
That's okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion for the final reading of rezoning ordinance at 5158 Lennon Road.
I'll support.
All right, now that we've got a motion.
And we don't need a roll call, though, correct?
You probably should, just because it's an ordinance, but
Really?
you don't I don't think you're required.
And we can go back to
Okay, we'll
discussion
do a roll
now.
call, but usually we don't have to.
But we can go back to discussion now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything beyond that C2, Tracy? Looking at that, and like I said, you know, I had several notes that I had written on about this. Anything, and Carol, sitting on the planning as you do, and myself on the ZBA, if they don't, if the guideline for C2 doesn't fall under what they're looking to do, and they want to have a variance for a dog run or whatever it might be, we, not us, excuse me, but the Planning Commission and the ZBA would still have some respected control over that, correct?
Sure.
Okay. And I'd like to see somebody going forward there, this is more tax dollar, but again, like Barb said, there are several issues that would have to be touched on in order for this to work. It's hard to get in there and get an ice cream right now. Parking is this big.
And just so you're aware, it is C2 in the front right now.
Right. And
Yeah, this is just for the back.
for the, extend it back another 432 feet from where it already is. So it's not like we're spot zoning, it's contiguous. I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
A second. Carol, you second, right?
Yes. Carol made the motion.
Made the motion, okay.
And I seconded.
Okay. All right. So we do a vote?
I said okay.
Yes.
I think we should.
Usually we don't. Go ahead.
All right. So Treasurer Anderson
Yes.
and Trustee Fabdol,
Yes.
Trustee Vert,
No.
Trustee Campbell,
No.
Trustee Klee,
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson said yes, and Clerk Triplett, yes.
Okay, motion goes through.
Did everyone?
Okay. Next, we have,
Bless you.
I was gonna say, I think my packet's a little messed up here. Industrial facilities tax exemption, and that is for Printcom, that's on Lennon Road. And all we're doing is setting the,
Don't we have another rezoning case?
no, that's, that
That
doesn't
one you
belong in
already
there.
voted on and.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, okay.
I know, yeah.
All right.
And we're just setting the meeting.
Yep, just setting the public hearing, for the IFT for, the meeting on the 19th.
Correct.
What'll happen, if you set the public hearing, then we have to, publish it in the paper and notify all the taxing authorities that would be involved.
Right.
I make a motion that we set a meeting for hearing for the industrial facilities tax exemption certificate at 3040 South Die Road for Printcom for September 19th.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Next, we have MDOT, the contract roads for recovery initiative dollars. Tracy?
So,
Yep.
the supervisor and I have worked with Jim Ananick, Senator Ananick's office, and Representative, John Cherry Jr.'s office to get dollars earmarked for our projects that we did, the road projects that we did. You voted at the last meeting, I believe, to use some ARPA funds for the township's portion, but we had still been working with the state to get some funding. We had gotten $200,000 for Linden Creek Parkway, and this is an additional $1 million that we got for the other 8 roads. So this is basically the contract with MDOT to receive those funds. And basically what we need is you to approve the contract and approve Supervisor Miller and Deputy Supervisor Burt as authorized signatories for it.
Clee would move to accept the MDOT contract as presented.
Second it.
Does that need to be two parts, or we're voting separate, the signatories?
Well, I think it doesn't it state that in
Tracy kind of separated
But I
them in.
thought it hit, that they hit, yeah, we probably
I
should.
think I left it in there as one, did I not?
I'm looking for, I thought I
Motion
s-
to approve them and approve them as authorized representatives.
Yes, there it is.
That's fine.
Yep. That's, I read that.
I
thought it-
pulled it right out of the contract, the wording for it.
Okay.
So now
Roll
we
call.
can go to discussion?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Talking about money back, we paid for these, assisted these roads to be done, but we're getting the full $1 million back. We're getting it handed back to us. So this reflects a positive into the budget of $1 million used for roadways and corrected problems that we had and made it better for the neighborhood. So thank you for giving us the money back. Thanks for your work. And Jim Ananick is a strong supporter of us, so thanks. That worked out well.
Anybody else? Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Okay. Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
And Miller's absent. Trustee Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdo?
Yes.
And Trustee Burt?
Yes. Okay. Also, I'll be attending a pre-construction hearing on Monday in regards to Laval, Concord, and Mackin. I'll have more information on that later. Okay, next we have Chief Beckley.
Yes.
We have the fire marshal.
Thank you. So your fire department is in need of a full-time fire marshal to complete a multitude of duties. I know I've discussed these at depth with the board. This position is a very dynamic and important job within our department. They'll oversee the inspection, investigation, and prevention duties within the township, along with still responding to emergency calls. This process is invaluable to this, safety of the residents, businesses, and visitors of this township, in my opinion. Therefore, I'd like to request the Township Board to approve a 2-year pilot program for a full-time fire marshal. This position will be a weekday, 8-hour position that will be responsible for all the duties that I just listed. So I'd like to propose funding for this come out of the ARPA funds for the 2023-2024 budgets. This will allow us to add an 11th full-time firefighter, dedicated fire marshal on 8-hour days, and start to complete these duties that we need to.
Clee would move to accept the resolution to approve, funding for the full-time fire marshal position, utilizing ARPA dollars to pay this as a 2-year program in the first 2 years of pay.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Chief, you have gone deep making this and finding the numbers for this and looking at it, and just to talk about, there's some conversation about whether or not these dollars could be recouped, and I've seen your, both of you guys work when Chief Salter was the super chief, if you will, for over both departments for over 2.5 years, and doing the funding and the receiving back for all the accidents and out-of-towners, et cetera, on 75. This is greatly needed, and we'll see money come back in from it. I know we will.
I just have one thing.
Yes.
Because we've talked quite a bit about this, too.
Yes.
A lot of discussion. So after the 2 years, you're hoping that the fire marshal pays for himself with the inspections?
That's correct. Between the inspection fees and the cost recovery that, like a Chief Salter and myself have been getting up and running with the ordinance changes that we just completed, between all of those avenues, the money that's collected back from the fire departments, I feel will cover that position, yes.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Okay. Clerk Triplett, yes. Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Okay, next we have, I think you'll find in your packet that you've got a letter for promotion to captains. I know I'm looking for mine.
Want it?
No, I got it now. It's in here somewhere. So, a motion would be in order to we can name them now, can't we?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure, all right. So we have here, I'll let you say it.
Okay. Thank you. So you have received a letter from the Flint Township Civil Service Commission with 2 eligible candidates for promotion to captain. The names received from Civil Service are Timothy Nestor and Daniel Merriam. As we continue to move forward, great leadership and positive leadership within the fire department is essential. Therefore, I am respectfully requesting that the Township Board approve the promotion of Sergeant Tim Nestor and Sergeant Dan Merriam to captain, effective September 7th, 2022.
Clee would move that we approve the recommendation of the 2 names, Mr. Daniel Merriman and Mr. Timothy Nestor, to be promoted from sergeants to captains, effective tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Correct.
Support. Any discussion? Okay. Madam, when you get a minute.
I guess I did have one
go ahead.
comment I would like to make. I'm really excited with the direction that the fire department is moving, just being able to fill in some of those gaps. We've had quite a few years, I think, with captains, no captains, part-time captains, interim captains, and so it's good to start to get that stability and to build that department back to where it needs to be. So I'm really excited for this and your direction, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, one more thing. I reiterate what she just stated, and you and I have had a lot of conversations. And Timothy, we go back a long ways. I'm not going to say more than congratulations, but tomorrow you'll get it. Yes, sir.
Here they are. Are they both here?
They are. So we have Sergeant
Sitting
Tim
quietly in
Nestor.
the back.
Dan, please, and we can just,
Tim Nestor and Dan Merriam's in the back there.
all right.
Dan's just a baby.
Okay, ready to vote?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay, trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Okay, trustee Burt?
Yes.
Trustee Favdal?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Okay, next we have Chief Beckley.
Okay, last one, I promise. So your fire department currently has 1 budgeted full-time position open with the recent retirement over the weekend of Captain McClanahan after 28 years of service with our department. Additionally, with the approval tonight of the Fire Marshal pilot program, that's 1 additional full-time firefighter position that we would like to fill as soon as possible. We will not be able to fully assign the fire marshal until the 2 new firefighters are fully up, trained, and operational and ready for solo duty. This process usually takes 3 to 4 months, depending on the individual and the training that we have to do to complete. Therefore, the Flint Township Civil Service Commission, in compliance with Public Act 78 of 1935, has provided the names of Andrew Vettel and Austin Bauer to fill these 2 positions within our department. They've both been presented with a conditional offer of employment, and they have both successfully met all of the contingencies to become a probationary employee. Therefore, I am pleased to recommend the hiring of these 2 individuals to fill our vacant positions. Since 2016, Mr. Vettel has served with the Flushing Fire Department as an on-call firefighter, and Mr. Bauer, since 2013, has served with the Swartz Creek area Fire Department, where he currently holds the rank of lieutenant. With your approval, I would like both of these gentlemen to begin their training with the Flint Township Fire Department on September 19th, 2022.
We would move to accept the resolution as presented by Fire Chief Beckley in the names of Andrew Vettel and Austin Bowers.
Anderson supports.
Discussion? Okay,
Okay.
roll call.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Favdal?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
And Clerk Triplett, yes.
Motion passes. Okay.
Trustee Clee?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Board.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Sorry about that, Tom.
It's all good.
Okay, next we have the homecoming parade. And I think we have some students here who would like to get up and have talk about the event.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Mike Stewart. I teach U.S. history, all freshmen, all day, just so you know. And Clea is the oldest guy in the building. So, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who has helped us get this year's parade going. I'm a first-time student council advisor, so I didn't know what I was doing. Thank you, Tom, for helping me with that. And I have with me our president and vice president of our e-board, Paige Pangirl and Kinan Abdallah, who would also like to talk and say thank you. So, thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
We'd like to thank you for all of your support in getting the parade going. The parade will be September 1st at
Check that.
September 30th. I can't believe I did that again. September 1st already happened. All right, September 30th at Maple and Van Slyke at the middle school, and it'll be at 4:30, and we'd love for you and the community to be there.
And then after the parade at 7 o'clock, there's going to be a football game between Carmen and Saginaw Heritage. So if the community and anyone else wants to come and watch our football players, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Listen to
for
me.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I move that?
Huh?
Hey, don't let them leave yet. Don't let, we gotta vote on it. Sorry. Can I move?
Yes.
All right. Clea would move to approve the resolution presented by the Carmen Ainsworth Student Council for the Carmen Ainsworth Homecoming Parade, and for the date and times spoken about.
I'll second it.
We open for discussion?
Sure.
Discussion?
I promise I'll be short. As they said, and one thing to remember, you guys, fire department, police department will be there. Van Slyke Road will shut down at 4 o'clock all the way to Maple Road. Maple Road will be closed from Van Slyke all the way over to the entrance next to Barb Cole's dad and mom's house. There on the corner and down in the main entrance into the high school. It should be back open 5:30. And as they stated, the game is following, and you might get to listen to me the balance of that evening, just like you are right now, during that contest. And Michael will be upstairs running the clock. So, you guys, it'll go over well. But again, they're gonna put signs out, information to the businesses along Van Slyke Road to remind them that the roadway will be closed. GFL and Penske are both been notified that their side entrance will not be accessible during that short time frame.
Who's that?
It wasn't me. I'm done.
I know, probably. Okay.
Sorry.
We can just, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
None.
None. You're golden.
Good.
Okay. All right. Next, we have fee schedule changes.
I thought that wasn't to be pulled, no? I can't remember now.
I didn't hear that.
You could ask him. Did you want us to pull that?
We're not pulling that, are we?
Are we moving forward with that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's what
We are?
I mean, that's what I thought. I'm like,
I thought in staff meeting, we talked about
like, what did I
pulling it
miss?
until you guys talked and we're gonna work on something together. Maybe I heard wrong.
Oh,
Moving forward, that's
bring
good.
us back.
Okay.
okay, so,
So H is good to go, right?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. It's good to go.
okay.
Chief, want to tell us about it?
Yeah, mine's just one little fee schedule, or one fee schedule change on there. Right now, our impound vehicle release fee is $100, making it more in line with other different municipalities within the county. I want to raise it to $150.
Anderson moves that we accept the recommended fee schedule changes as presented.
F sports, F all sports.
Carol. Support. Discussion? Okay, roll call. We need the minutes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burke?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdall?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Board.
Okay, we have action item J.
What happened to I? What happened to
I. Wait, I? What did I miss?
What
H
happened to
I? Well,
You called it J earlier.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't know
should
if we had
be.
an I.
Yeah, I guess it should be action item I.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
I was looking for Jimmy.
I did not learn the alphabet, or if I did, I forgot.
You're old.
Okay, action item A is been added in regards to the 2 inspectors for rentals.
Action item I.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep writing J, I don't know why.
So this is an item that we added tonight, but it has been an ongoing discussion. And so I wanted to put it on the agenda today so that we can have some discussion and be able to kind of move forward with our planning. It seems like we've been kind of stalled with our work as it relates to these 2 positions. So it's to hire 2 inspectors for rental inspection program. So for purposes of discussion, I'd make a motion that we consider to hire 2 inspectors for rental inspection program. And this is, I'll read it pretty much verbatim. Consider hiring, and I'm assuming this came from the building department. Consider hiring 2 full-time rental inspectors, code enforcers for in-house rental inspection program. The 2 inspectors will be paid from rental inspection fees similar to the established rental inspection program. The 2 inspectors are Dave Yeoman and Jake Murph, to be paid $25 an hour with health care coverage and a DC retirement plan. They are trained and ready to start immediately. Also consider appointing Christine Cronin, who is the clerical person in that department, as a deputy building administrator to oversee and assist with both of these programs, to be paid a stipend of $5,000 a year from the fees also. So I guess I don't, personally, I don't plan to spend a lot of time. I know this was born out of the McKenna contract that we had with the rental inspections, and the board voted to end that particular contract. These 2 individuals worked for McKenna, and so now I see they're asking that we hire them on full-time. And at a time when we are looking at a corrective action plan with the state of Michigan, I don't think this is the time to bring on 2 full-time rental inspections. We do have some other options, in-house options that I think would work very well. I know we haven't had that discussion. We need to sit down and have that discussion. And so for that reason, it's being brought forth for further discussion. And
Well, these 2 jobs were never posted, right?
No.
No. And then we're going to start them at a higher pay than what we
Do we have
are?
a motion on the table?
I thought I made a I didn't make a motion?
Does somebody second it?
No.
Then you have discussion.
So,
After,
Anybody want to second the motion, or?
I'll second.
Thank you.
okay, there you go.
I just was saying that I believe Julie is not even making that amount that we have back there. And so we're going to hire 2 new people at a higher pay than what we currently hire Julie. And this one has health care and stuff. With our budget and all, I don't feel that this is the proper timing. Maybe we could look at part-time, so we wouldn't have to do the benefits.
So these are, I thought, so they, okay, let me understand this right. These individuals do work for McKenna, or they don't? They're trying to come, they're gonna work both places? I'm confused. 'Cause the first they were gonna come and work here with McKenna, and now I'm seeing that they're coming to work, they wanna just come to work for Flint Township. Can somebody clarify that?
I don't see a building inspector, but what I've read and everything I've been told, and my understanding is we would hire them as our employees, and they would be working as our employees, and they would do the work that's available and out there. Already trained as they are. Question.
With full benefits from day one? Is that my understanding?
Yes.
I don't think it's a good idea either. I think that we have possibly other internal people that could do it. And because it started off McKenna and they were talking about $65 an hour, they moved it down, they changed the percentage rate. I think we open it to other people on the inside or other outside people, part-time. I think that we only need part-time.
Any other discussions? Oh, I guess I'm taking over.
Anybody else?
I just feel at this time with the budget and all that, we do need people, but I don't feel that they should be full-time. I think we could get by with a couple of part-time and see where we are then, and maybe sit down and talk about a plan.
Well, I know there's a lot of money being left on the table, and the perfect example is the gentleman that was here this evening, and I read through his packet very quickly when he handed it to us, and I kind of showed a few of you some of the key points that he had in his packet, which struck me as, wow, a little scary in that respect. But, you know, talking about money, all of those pieces, if we could find a way to put this in a not temporary, excuse me, a 4-month, 6-month plan to see, because there is a lot of money, I understand, laying on the table right now in the town, in the building department that is out there. There are rental people that want to do it, or want their facility looked at. We have, these two gentlemen are trained. It would be good to have the opportunity, but again, we look at the fiscal responsibility of the township, and the question is, will their money generate enough to see what we would be and where we can be? I'm willing to put people on, and I would be willing to look at these two guys because they're trained and they can go out there and get the job done.
Are you aware that we have an individual that works here, retired firefighter, that not only trained but is certified to do inspections?
And I had
he could
I had
definitely
conversation
willing to
with
go out and do that. And then we've had, we had a retired police officer on staff. We're not quite sure why he's no longer on staff, but I think we can find part-time individuals, be able to work with Marcus, and eventually have input maybe from our, once we get the fire inspection program up and running, that they also will be able to assist with that, so.
Well, then, why is it brought before the board again? Why isn't it just off the table and work with whatever part-timers we could work with?
That's where I think.
So let's just let this go. Let's table it right now. Let's not even bother bringing it
No,
back.
we're not gonna table it. I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to move forward. I'd call for the question.
Okay.
Okay.
And we need to do it. I know that, but I don't know if this is the right way.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Beckley, no, excuse me, Chief Beckley.
Yes.
You did write a letter to the board in favor of this program, the program.
The program, yes. I fully support these inspections being done. How that looks, how they're done, who does it, obviously is none of my say, but
Sure.
I fully believe in any sort of inspection that will have safety aspects behind it. We're making sure that our residents are safe, our community is safer, our businesses are safe. I will always support those inspections, yes.
I support inspections as well.
Roll call, please.
Can I,
Let's do the roll call.
Okay, which am I going? We doing roll call?
So what are we
Tom has
actually?
something to say. If he wants one more to say, let him.
you called the question. I can't keep talking, I'm sorry.
So we're
Do
voting.
we need the motion clearer?
The motion is to hire 2 inspectors for rental inspection program.
What about the other part of Chris?
Oh, and
It says also consider, so that doesn't have to be on there.
also, well, it came as a package, so I would assume that if, and to appoint a deputy building administrator to oversee a program that, at the $5,000 a year fee, so it's combined. The offer that's in the resolution is what we're voting on.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, trustee Vert. We're voting to table this or take it away?
No, it's higher.
it's to hire.
So, okay, so trustee Vert,
That would be a yes, please.
okay, not a problem. Trustee Fabdon?
No.
Treasurer Anderson?
No.
Supervisor Miller, absent. Clerk Triplett, no. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
No.
Okay, motion fails. Okay. Now, we need a motion to go into closed session.
Anderson moves that we would move into closed session to consult with our attorney regarding the settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation.
Support.
Roll with support.
Thank you.
All in favor?
That's a roll call.
A roll call?
Roll call, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll call. We are going to do Trustee Babdoff?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Trustee Clee?
Yes.
And Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Thank you.
or the mic's back on.
It takes a village, I remember that part.
Yeah, we gotta wait till Terry gets squared away.
Good?
Audio's up,
Need a
cameras.
Motion to come back into open session at
7:47.
7:47.
I'll second it.
Who?
You made
Here.
a motion. I'll make a motion that we go back into open session at 7:46.
Okay.
Anderson supports.
Lisa? Roll call?
Yes, trustee Burt
Yes.
and trustee Fabdahl.
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, trustee Clee,
Yes.
and trustee Campbell.
Yes.
Thank you.
And just a reminder that those minutes are kept separate. The
Yes.
closed session minutes are kept separate and will be retained for a year and a day.
Thank you.
All right,
Tom?
we're back in open session,
We're back
correct?
in open session.
Okay,
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion, if I could, in regards to this, the closed session issue. I would like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation of council and move forward.
Anderson supports.
That would be a recall, or,
Yep.
that's a recall. Roll call.
Roll call, roll call, roll call. Second was, Lisa, you
We
seconded
don't like
that?
that word in municipal government.
Yeah, we don't use that.
Right.
Okay, moved by me, seconded by Lisa.
Yes.
Roll call.
Roll call?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Clee,
Yes.
trustee Campbell.
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Burt
Yes.
and trustee Fabdahl.
Yes.
And clerk Triplett, yes, thank you.
Good to see everybody again.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
going to take off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I have an
Any
announcement, if I may.
announcement? Okay.
That's where we're at, right? Announcements, all right. In regards to the parade,
Yeah,
you guys are
right
welcome.
by my house.
Right, yeah, your road's blocked. You're welcome to walk, please understand that, but I will tell you, I am not walking this year. We're trying to get into, what has happened in the last 3 years has been that homecoming day has been a half day for everybody, so it gives everybody time to get over there. The contract, somehow we did not get a half day this year, so it's gonna be hard for little kids to get there and all of that. And it would be difficult for all of us to get there to walk the parade. We're discussing to get a half day next year. I think next year is when we all should walk, because it's our reelection year. And it puts us in front of the voters next year, and then, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna walk this year, I'm gonna be at the stadium, getting ready for the game, because it's crazy. I'm just saying. I know in the past, we've walked, we've used my truck, we've fired it all up and got it all lit up. I'm not gonna make it available. I mean, I'm not gonna walk it, I'm gonna be up in the press box.
I've been walking with the senior citizens, so.
Yeah, I'm too old to
Doing
walk
that this
that
year?
anymore. I'll be,
He'll be 101. Oh, wait, anything else?
The last announcement.
any other announcement? Oh, the last one,
The
yeah,
last one.
Next meeting.
next
Oh.
meeting.
I'm sorry. Okay, the
Sorry.
next meeting will be September 19th at 6 o'clock
On a Monday.
on a Monday. All right, guys, meeting's adjourned.
One more thing,
job.
shoot,
Thank you for
tomorrow,
your help.
4 o'clock.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch. That'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.